Yeah. Hello there, good people. So finally, let's just do a regular hangout and practice session. We've been doing so many serious lessons and stuff, so I just think it's time to, have a good time and just play a little bit. And for the first time in a long time, I'm also streaming via TikTok. Hello there, TikTok. I'm basically forced to have a whole bunch of units, but hopefully my poor multitasking ability is gonna keep up. We'll see. Oops. Yeah, I already failed because I missed the Instagram part. Here we go. So yeah, here's my little metronome. Ooh yeah. What's up on Instagram? So I'm just playing in E minor now, both riffing and a little bit of lead, but generally the more I warm up, the more lead I'm gonna play. At this stage, I'm pretty much cold, so it's gonna be pretty rough playing, but jam along with me in E minor, and as time goes by, we're hopefully gonna get a bit warmed up. Izu on YouTube. This is not a vintage guitar. This is a Fender American Deluxe Strat. Oh, that's too fast for warm-up. Let's see if I can see some. Oh, there we go. Hey there, John. What's up? Jack. Finally, we got Jacqueline here. Jacqueline has been posting lots of supportive comments on my YouTube, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you, Jacqueline. Time to take a productive break. Dead Man's Wife, go for it. Be with Chris. That's the only way to do it. Let's see. That's better. Let's go. Kinley on Facebook. Too fast for warm-up. Kinley is a big fan. Thank you so much, Kinley. Okay, so there we have some legato, and it's too early for me to do that stuff, but I guess I'm a little bit nervous because, I don't know, I have too many streams on at the same time. But it's this kind of, the hammer-on pull-off thing. And I'm playing it in E minor, and it gets a little bit easier if you're playing in a minor scale as opposed to a pentatonic, because we do have 3 notes per string. Just to remind you, with the pentatonic scale, we have 2, right? It's harder to play. Whereas with 3, it gets a little bit easier. And that's the kind of thing we can break down. But I should probably warm up a little bit more before I try to show you anything. I don't know any cover songs. I suck at that. So generally what I do is kind of try to help people build their lead style and try to develop a unique voice. That's the only thing that intrigues me. I really don't play any cover songs anymore. I've been doing that for a long time, I guess. Or too long. I should be smart about it and just play what people are asking me for, but if I do that, then I just feel like putting the guitar down, so I don't. Sorry, mate. Meg G from India, what's up? What's up? Cool, Pavel. We have a question from TikTok on how to shred. That's a good question because I'm shredding all the time, so I should probably break it down. So one of the things you want to do whenever you're trying to play fast is to pretty much never play above your comfort speed, but still imitate how it looks when the pros shred. So if you see someone playing like this, and you can't play that, but you can still imitate the small hand movement. So I don't know if you could tell, but I was barely moving my pick. And you can imitate that even at a slow tempo. And the same goes for the left hand. I didn't do this. You know, even if I'm playing slowly, or when I'm playing slowly, I can afford big movements, but I still don't do it, again, because I want to look like the pros when I play, because that kind of movement will convert to higher speeds. So if you practice at this tempo with small movements, in the long run, you run a greater chance of actually being able to play fast. Okay, so let's do something. So hopefully you can maybe apply a little bit of that just by watching me play now. Just a second, trying to see some comments there. So Pavel on TikTok was asking which scales. So here I'm sort of basing everything on the E minor scale. And then I go outside of the scale a little bit. And when I do that, it tends to be, well, at least in this case, E harmonic minor. So whenever you see me, I'm playing something pretty standard sounding, back to E, but then I do this. And it sounds a little bit more exotic. That's E harmonic minor. And then sometimes I go one step further and I actually play diminished 7 arpeggios within that E harmonic minor scale. And that's when it sounds like this. So you can hear that. Now I'm just playing E minor. E harmonic minor. And then E diminished or E flat. Cool. So we have a user on YouTube who's getting really sad because he thinks I'm ignoring you. So Booyah Day. I'm not ignoring you, man, but I have 3 freaking cameras here. I don't know where to look. So if you're a beginner, this kind of thing might not apply to you, but it could. And the point is that even as a beginner, you should really go for, practicing the things you love listening to. It doesn't really matter if it's the most difficult progressive metal you can think of. It's still worth it. Progress is going to be extremely slow, but the option is to play something that you don't like listening to and put the guitar down. And you think that's going to work? No, of course not. So it's much better to choose something based on your personal preferences. And I can't really help you with that without knowing that. So your best bet is really to sort of search within. What are your favorite, songs, musicians, bands? And maybe you can Google a little bit and see if you like, I don't know, Metallica. Let's just pretend you're in your mid-40s like me and you like Metallica. Then you can search for easy Metallica songs. That's a good start, And even if it's like Yngwie Malmsteen or something very difficult, you can still search for like a basic Yngwie Malmsteen riff or bend or something, It's always doable, and that's going to inspire you. Now, if you're lucky, maybe you're a fan of Deep Purple, and then you can play Smoke on Water, But chances are your band, your favorite bands, their music is going to be challenging. But that's also part of the whole thing, right? It is challenging to learn an instrument, and the guitar, I would say, is especially difficult if you compare it to like a keyboard instrument or something like that. So just go for stuff you love listening to, That's a good idea. Cool. Recommendation here from Jacqueline, I think. Finger exercises. Cool. Definitely. Hey, Boya, so even if you can't play bar chords, there are lots of songs to choose, right? So you shouldn't think that just because you read in a book or someone on the internet told you, you have to learn first the C chord and then the G chord and then bar chords. That's not true for everybody. If I had been told that when starting out, I would never have played guitar. For me, it was always about attempting to do the impossible, and I failed. I failed miserably for, a decade or so. But that's the only thing that intrigued me. If I had done it, the regular way, I have to learn bar chords before I can play, a blues lick, I would never play the guitar. So that's really the secret sauce. Don't listen to anybody else. Just play the stuff that inspires you. And of course, if you can go to like maybe have some private tuition and you can connect with the teacher, and this teacher can really listen to what your personal preferences are in terms of music, and design a plan where you do a little bit of everything, that can definitely work. But it's not the only option. Many people learn just by, again, searching within. What is it I want to play? And can I find something that's doable from this specific style? Team Telecaster, I like it. We got Kahana from Arizona. Hey, the pleasure is mine, Booyah Day. Hope it helps. Let's practice some string skipping. I got so surprised because I think I got a gift from TikTok from Askoboy, so I just immediately hit a wrong note. But thank you, Askoboy. We've got Lane from Massachusetts. Kahana likes the scale, so this kind of thing is actually the pentatonic scale, but played with 3 notes per string, and that is a little bit tricky because it does require quite a bit of a stretch. We're used to playing the pentatonic scale like this, and maybe some, blues bending. But playing the pentatonic box and then adding a 3rd note up here, that's a little trickier. But it's a lot of fun because you get these repetitions. And sometimes you double a note, like on the high E string, you have the E note and then you have it here on the 17th fret B string. So if I play like this, not only does it sound a little bit out of tune, but you get a nice doubling effect. So let's try that. Whoops, especially if you play your regular licks, like regular 3-note per string licks, but in this wide pentatonic shape, you can get some very interesting sounds. So this would be a standard lick. But if I play it in the pentatonic scale, it sounds really crazy. Also the kind of thing you want to do when warmed up. Cool, Kahana. You think my playing sounds like Tim Henson? Thanks a lot, man. And thank you, Buade. Thank you, Kahana. I don't play in a band currently. I just play with you guys. That's what I do. So I record a lot of content, and recently I've started streaming a lot. I even did 2 streams today. One more like a pedal review video, which is on YouTube, on Facebook, but I'm gonna upload it here as well. And now this sort of laid-back stream, we're just hanging out. Mipal on Instagram. Where am I located? Stockholm, Sweden here. And someone asked earlier on in the stream where in Sweden or Stockholm. It's in the southern part of Stockholm. Do you do music collaborations? It's been a while. We used to do actually big collabs on the GMC forum. That's my old guitar site, guitarmasterclass.net. Some of you might know it is one of the earliest online lessons learning sites. And we had a pretty active community there back in the days before, social media was that big. And so we basically did collabs in the forum just by sending audio files to each other. So in a way, I guess we pioneered that a little bit. But I haven't done any more like regular or collaborations in quite some time. I think maybe the last one I did was with Alan Gogol, the Australian really nice acoustic, the bell harmonics dude. And we did some collabs, but that was probably 6 or 7 years ago. So I should probably get active again. But I guess I'm a bit of a, what's the word, lone wolf. And in Swedish it's ensamvarg. But I just love playing guitar, and sure, I would love to get collabing. I would actually like to have some kind of band here in Stockholm. But at this point, work and family is demanding a lot from me. So it's more like, I'm just happy I can find the time to play, basically. And I messed up. Hey, cool, Kana. That would be awesome. Send me a message with your song. I'd love to check it out. Which finger do you suggest to do tapping while soloing? Middle for more pick control or index for harder tap? So I would always choose the middle finger because it doesn't make sense to let go of the pick just to tap, right? So let's do another beat here so we can try it out. So I suck at it, but it still works pretty well, you know? So let's warm up a little bit with that so I can do some tapping and show you guys. My primary work does involve guitar playing, a lot of other things as well, but I am very active recording content, selling guitar courses and, managing the guitarmasterclass.net websites. I do a little bit of everything just to make it work. So yeah, there is guitar, fortunately. Otherwise, I would be an unhappy man, I think. Yep, I'm in Sweden, Kana. So am I doing palm muted legatos? I do quite a bit. I love palm muting legatos, especially actually with the clean tone quite a bit. So this kind of thing, right? You touch the beginning of the string with your palm, and then what I tend to do is use both the pick and the right hand finger. So you can see pick, hammer on, and then finger, hammer on. So I was just playing 12, 14, 15 on the E and the A string. So So again, pick with the palm muted note there, and then hammer on. So 12, 14, 15, and then the same thing on the A string. Yes, Dead Man's Wife. It's actually 7 in the evening here in 7 minutes. So we can try that hybrid legato approach in a context here. So let's do some blues licks and then a little bit of hybrid legato. See if we can squeeze that in. It's not always easy. So you can hear the magic kind of happens when you're combining something more melodic and preferably, with a bit of a bluesy groove, doesn't hurt, and then, throw in those more aggressive pole muted legato. So that's how I like to use them. Cool question, by the way. So let's do some more. Of course, it gets even crazier if you apply the trick I spoke about earlier, where you convert, any regular 3-note per string lick into this wide or stretchy pentatonic 3-note per string lick. So again, it's just that, the box we all know and love, but we're adding a third note. So in E, like if you have the box on the 12th fret, you would play this, right? A little bit out of tune, but so what I'm doing is I'm adding a third note. Might be old strings. So something which looks extremely tricky, is just your pentatonic bulk. But then we're adding just the 17th fret here. So, it's gonna involve a stretch, but you already know the scale, right? It's just your standard box, but we're adding the 17th fret. So. And we do get the double note there, so 17 and 12. And that's, what sounds cool here, because we're doubling these notes. And actually on the G string you can play the 16th fret if you want to, but 17 works as well. Cool. Okay, who works on, is it like a radio station? I wish I listened to the radio a bit more. Cool. FM 106.3, your friend Christoph. Cool. I have to check it out. Okay, so let's try that in a context here. One more time, but let's dive straight into the blues lick from that crazy run. I think that's gonna be fun. But I gotta work on it. One more time. Oh, that could have worked, but I missed the notes. Sorry. That was tricky. Let's do it one more time. That's what I wanted to do. One more time. Very cool. So one more time. Let's do the opposite. Let's start with some bluesy playing and then do the hybrid legato. I can't seem to get into a cool lick there. It pisses me off. Better. Let's run one. I messed up. Check what happened. My calluses are behaving weird. So the string gets kind of stuck in that piece of skin. I know you wanted to see that. One more time. Can you ad-lib an A minor F G arpeggio? We can try that. Cool, Deban likes my muted legato. Thank you, man. So let's try some A minor F G. Let's see if I can get into it. I'm gonna do G7 and F major 7. And a jazzy version of F major 7. Perfection with flair. Thank you, Jacqueline. So let's try it some more. We want to get some groove going there. Oh, I messed up. So what we could do, just for fun, is start with the A minor arpeggio, do the F major arpeggio, do the G7 arpeggio, and then go all the way into like A minor blues again, so we get that contrast. Let's try it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have to clean my strings, I think. So whenever your guitar's intonation goes to hell and there's no explanation, it's usually because your strings are getting old or I should say just dirty. And I have quite a bit of hand sweat, so you know, that's gonna affect intonation. And once you've done that, quick tuning. Okay, so thank you, Kana, for the great chord suggestion. Oh, I bet you enjoyed listening to that. So it's always more fun when we can sort of, what's the expression in English? Put our heads together and play something together. Oh, Planet Waves Polish clothing. That's a good one, probably. I just used something, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I think I got that with, I think I got it from some guitar product that but I should probably clean it, just like everything freaking else in here. What FX do I have on it? Are you mic'd up on an amp? So here's the interesting part. If you're watching from TikTok, you're just hearing the audio from my phone. But the other platforms, so in other words, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, you are hearing audio that is professionally recorded via 2 microphones and then into my audio interface. So hopefully it's good, but I'm experimenting all the time, trying to improve that stuff. So maybe something is wrong with the audio. I did mess up a little bit with audio in my previous stream here on YouTube. So yeah, hopefully it's okay. If it sounds okay, then I guess I'm doing good. So it's an SM57 and a Pinnacle Fat Top. And maybe you can, no, you can't really see it because I'm not using this yellow amp here. I'm using an amp you can't see on the left, which is my Mesa Boogie Mark 5 amp. And then I use a separate cab with a greenback speaker in it. And that's the one I've mic'd. Oh, the mix is awesome. Awesome to hear, man. Awesome to hear, and thanks for confirming. So we can try your chord progression a bit further down, see how that works. Let's try. Scott is here. Awesome. How far can I bend? Well, if I try that, I guess I'll break some strings, but it's always fun. Oh. that wasn't on my end though, it's the guitar. Let's try it. So I did 2 half steps there, but 2.5 didn't work. Well, they did work, so 2.5, I guess. Should be happy with that before something breaks in here. So this is a bend from the 15th fret B string all the way up to the 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half steps, or 2.5 full steps. So but if I go further, I think the note is gonna die. So let's try Kahana's chord progression there, but a bit further down, just for fun, and see how it works. We had the suggestion to do A minor, F major, and G7, or I'll just do G7 there. But that's a good progression. If it were me, I would most likely go to like E7 or E major after the F, but we can try both. Let's go to F. That's G7. So that's pretty cool because you can go back and do some blues stuff. An F major. And then G7. Let's do E major instead of G, and we get that harmonic minor sound. Oops. So good stuff there, lots of fun. In a way, just like forcing yourself to do a specific chord progression when practicing like this is just another way of like imposing a limitation. So it's like saying you can't play random notes anymore, you gotta follow the structure. And that's always good, you know. Sometimes when I'm practicing, I'm imposing other types of technical limitations, like just play a melody on one string. So you can't do this. Instead, you're gonna have to do the headstock. Yeah, I know on Instagram you're gonna see a little bit less of the guitar. That's because TikTok forces me to use my phone. I can't use my streaming software. Sorry about that. So Deban Janbauri, sorry for butchering your username, is asking, why can't bend like you? So what's the trick for these aggressive bends? So when I was bending 5 half steps there, close enough for rock and roll, I guess. So the trick here, first of all, I'm down-tuned half step and I play 08 strings, so that helps. But if you follow my stuff, I know that you know that I sometimes record shorts with this kind of thing. And I do it on 10s as well, on like a Gibson. But generally, the B string I find easiest for this kind of thing. And the trick is, of course, to use several fingers in the bend. I can't tell you how many times I've had students who insist on bending with one finger just because they can, but turns out it's very limiting if you want to bend anything more than maybe a whole step. And if you want control of the bend, because it's not just about reaching the pitch, is perhaps you want to do like a cool phrase, like, you know, something more rhythmic, and then you need more control. So always use several fingers on the same string when bending. And the next step is to, yeah, exactly, don't be scared of breaking your strings, but also use reference pitches. So if you're bending on the 15th fret, if you want to start out easy, then you're going to play the 16th fret first. That's the pitch you're going to try to reach first. Now let's bend up to that pitch from the 15th fret. Seems about right. Let's try the 17th fret. Now let's do the 18th fret. Ow, that's a bit flat, I think. Okay. Now let's do the, what's that? The 19th fret. So we're 4 half steps now. Maybe a little bit out of tune. I don't know. What do you guys say? And finally, let's do the 20th fret. Okay, I think that's the trick. Sorry in advance for breaking your string. That's okay. I think it would be a good thing if I broke the strings here, because these strings need replacement. I think that's part of the reason why intonation isn't as it should be up here. The strings are getting old. And I've started using non-coated like elixir strings. So if you're familiar with elixir, they're pretty expensive, but they have long life. And if you're sweating a lot, that's helpful if you don't want to be changing strings all the time. But for some reason, I decided like a year ago that now it's time to try tons of different string gauges. And I discovered that I absolutely love 08s on this. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if Elixir produces 08s. I just got an Ernie Ball, I think it's called Extra Slinker or something like that, but it's 08. And it sounded so good. It's like, no, okay, maybe it's worth the effort of changing strings a bit more often. But it seems I didn't follow up on that promise, and it's been a long time since I didn't change strings here, so I guess that's what we're hearing. My apologies for that, and it would be good if I broke my string, because that would force me to put on new ones. Oh, you use Elixir too? Yeah. They've been my go-to for like 10 or 15 years. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to buy a whole bunch of strings, different gauges, and experiment. And when you're experimenting with such expensive strings, it can get, well, expensive. And I didn't want to, be stuck with a set of strings just because they cost a lot. So I ended up just, going for cheaper Ernie Ball. Fried by Fluoride. Sorry, man, I don't know any cover songs. Okay, so let's do those arpeggios just a little bit more. F major. G. Back to A minor. F major. G major 7. Up to A minor up here. F major with a sharp 4. And then G7 again. Okay, so how do I clean the fretboard? Cool question, Diban, on YouTube. So this has a lacquered, what's the word in English? It's lackerad in Swedish. Lacquered, I think is the word. So if it's glossy and shining, and if it's a maple fretboard, you don't need to do much. Just take a cloth and you can apply a little bit of water if you want to. It's different though if you have like ebony fretboard or anything dark. That's when you typically want to get your lem oil out and do that kind of stuff. At least once in a while, you know. Depends a little bit on which climate zone you're in and if it's very dry and that kind of thing. But sometimes, or you always want to apply lem oil before, you know, there's a, what's the word with that? Like a crackle, because, you know, the fretboard can get really dry. Though, you know, that you're going to be unlucky if that happens. It's a good habit to apply it whenever you change strings, you know. That would be my recommendation. Do you use slides with your blues riffs? Well, it's been a while. It's been a long time. Let's do something. Rhythm. Let's do on the pinky instead so I can play a bit more freely. I gotta work on this. It's pretty cool whenever you can do that. To be honest, I've never really done that with a distorted tone, but the problem with this is I only do it like once every 3 months, so I never really get very good at it, but it's fun. I just should have some plan, I guess. I've never really listened to slide guitars either. I've just, you know, started seeing a few of them here on, you know, social media, and it's really inspiring, but it's always like that when you don't have like a very deep, I guess, musical connection with the slide, and you know, it gets a little bit harder to, you know, be persistent about it. And I think also the key is for me to, I think I should practice more like I did now, alternating between regular playing and slide, because I seem to bring the slide out every 3 months and just do sliding. But that's kind of limiting. I really, you know, want it to become an integral part of my style, so yeah, I should probably do that. So I haven't even decided kahana, which is my favorite finger. That's how seldom I use it. I mean, with this particular slide, I have more control with the ring finger because, you know, it fits it really well. This is fun. Oh man. TikTok is asks me to complete, this kind of puzzle to check if I'm human. No idea what TikTok does. Exactly. I just down-tuned to drop D flat because I was already in E flat standard, and it just makes the power chords on that low string a bit easier. Yay, United Arab Emirates! What's up? I thought you were using sim. What is sim? Like an amp sim? No, I'm not. I'm using a tube amp now, mic'd up. Jadel, are you in drop C? Oh, now I get it. Jadel is asking, am I using for tones? Yeah, so I'm using a Mesa Boogie Mark V. And sometimes a few pedals. Right now it's a tube screamer and a booster like a Dynacomp, and then I have a little bit of reverb and delay in the loop. But they're all analog pedals with an analog amp, and that's the way I prefer it these days. I should practice more like this. This is good stuff. Let's this is hard. Thank you, Jacqueline, for digging. Yeah, I should probably do more of the clean stuff and the phrasing stuff. Just so much to play, and I never have time to do everything. But this is pretty cool. I should work on this. And my flow is, of course, much better, at least right now, with the high gain stuff. I live in country of Sweden. Thanks for asking, Razila. So, yeah, I'm much more comfortable with the high gain stuff. But actually, this inspired me to, I think I'm going to start working a little bit more on the slide stuff, and maybe just going back and forth between slide and regular playing. That would be really cool. Oh man, I have to stop this session soon, damn it. Yeah, we got my man Christian Newman on YouTube, what's up? Cool, guys. So this was an awesome session. I really think it's a good idea to once in a while drop the serious stuff, all the lessons and all that, and just hang out and just jam, you know? So that's what I did today, and we should do more of this. If you want to see my previous session today, it's on YouTube. Basically, first the pedal demo I've done in a long time. It was a lot of fun. And I think I'm going to do some more of that. I just have to figure out some some technical stuff around these recordings, but I think I'm getting there. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in this session. You've been absolutely fantastic. Keep being amazing, and I'll keep being Chris Vidal.